I'm going to go ahead and record this because I wanted to share this with you. It's a conversation that I had with Spirit one morning this week when it was like early hours of the morning. I had just woken up and I was just laying in bed having a conversation with Spirit. The reason I'm recording this video is because I hit the voice recorder on my iPhone after I'd already started the conversation with Spirit, so I wanted to just give you some context here. The analogy being used with regard to sources of income and money is sandcastles and lemonade stands. And Spirit was taking me back to childhood experiences where you go to the beach and you build sandcastles for the fun of building sandcastles, and even when you go home and the activity is over or the trip to the beach is over, you're back home safe and sound, and you're not really worried about the sandcastles, whether or not they got washed away by the ocean. Didn't bother you at all, you know. And the other analogy was a lemonade stand where, you know, during the summer as a kid, you got together with your friends in the neighborhood, your parents helped you build a lemonade stand and you were selling lemonade or whatever. But once that activity is over during the day, you go back home, you know, and in the message you were saying that your parents are preparing dinner for you. You're not worried about the lemonade stand at all. And so those are the two analogies the Spirit was bringing into this message. So I wanted to share that context with you so you understand where they're going. But it pertains to how we are perceiving sources of income here on earth. Our jobs, our businesses. Some of you are day traders in the stock market. Whatever it is that whatever activity we're using to experience financial income, sometimes we take it so seriously that we're gripping onto it as our sense of security, and we're worried about how it's going to go, because if it doesn't go well, we feel like we're not safe. And so this message really was deepening my own sense of awareness that nothing happening here on earth holds my security, you know, my sense of security, and that I can always go back home to the truth of who I am and feel completely safe. So that's the context for this message. I hope it helps you in some way. I hope it helps you feel a lot more lighthearted about the activities we do here on earth for money, and also to remind you that you are innately safe in the truth of who you are.
With the lemonade stand, you can engage in the activity of selling lemonade, yet at the end of the day, you go home. You go home where you feel safe. You go home to the truth of who you are. Just like when you were a child, you went back home and your parents prepared dinner for you, and you weren't really preoccupied with the lemonade stand. You engaged with it when you were there, but at the end of the day, when you went back home to be with your parents, you're safe, you're sound, you're provided for. You don't worry about the lemonade stand and how much money it made that day, because all of your needs are provided for. Similarly, when you engage in some activity on a daily basis, it's fine. Yet you remain in the awareness that you could come home to the truth of who you are, to the awareness that you are fully provided for. And you don't have to worry too much about the lemonade stand and how much it's going to bring in today, tomorrow, because you're resting in the truth of who you are, in your true sense of security, in the knowing and the awareness that you're always provided for, whether the lemonade stand worked out or not. So it is not that you are not to engage in activity that brings you income, but to simply regard them as lemonade stands and sandcastles you get to play while you're here with a bunch of different things. But they're all temporal. When you regard a sandcastle as a sandcastle, when the water washes up on shore and takes it down, you might pout a little bit as a child, but you very quickly see that you can build another one. Because the sand is always there. The sand is limitless. You can build another one. So you're not too downtrodden by the washing away of one that you built. There are infinite sandcastles that you can build while you're here. Yet, do not allow yourselves to become so attached to the sandcastles and the lemonade stands such that you put your trust in them such that they become your sense of security. Come back home to where your security truly lies. Come back home to your true sense of security, to the truth of who you are. You are not these physical elements that you move about your planet in. And inasmuch as you can remember that, you're free. Your joy is ever present. Your sense of security is solid. Your knowing that you are always provided for is certain. It is strong. Because you remember that you are not these physical bodies. You are not this role. You are not this thing that you do in the world. And when you become more aware that you are not this thing that you do in the world, it no longer becomes your identity. It's just a sandcastle. It's just a lemonade stand. Play with it. Allow it to bring you some degree of satisfaction, but do not seek your sense of joy from it. Do not seek your sense of completeness from it. Do not seek your sense of fulfillment from it. You are already fulfilled. It can bring you some degree of fulfillment and satisfaction, yet we invite you to not become attached to it, seeking from it some sort of meaning in life. Your roles do not provide you with meaning. The truth of who you are is all the meaning that is necessary. When you know who you are, you no longer seek meaning through your temporal activities, sandcastles, and lemonade stands. You are in the world, but not of the world. You are in the world playing with these things, but they do not define you because you live in the awareness that you are not. Your role. Inasmuch as you can move about your planet recognizing that all that you are engaged in are just for the fun of engaging, and it is not who you are, it does not define you. You're free. When you're there, you're free. When you know it does not define you, you're free. When you know that your role is not your identity, you're free. When you know the business that you built is just a sandcastle, you're free. You're not so worried about what's going to happen with it. It's not a big deal. It's just a sandcastle. You know that when you go to your job each day, It's just another lemonade stand. Brings you a few dollars. Yet it is not your source. And when you know it's not your source, you're free. You're free mentally, emotionally, physically. You're free to explore your world in many different ways. You're not attached. You're free. When you are not attached, you are free. When you're not seeking meaning and fulfillment and identity in your temporal, physical experiences, you are free. And when you are free, joy naturally arises, peace naturally arises. Your sense of security is just ever present. It is never shaken by what's happening in your material world, because you know who you are. And you're certain and secure in the truth of who you are, not in the temporal experiences of your earthly lifetime. So we say to you, enjoy the sandcastles. Have fun building them. Have fun decorating them. Enjoy the lemonade stands with your friends, your co-workers, your family. Yet know that you can always come home to the truth of who you are.